God is probably one of the most mysterious and hyped characters in One Punch Man, aside from maybe Saitama himself. He's been shown to watch from behind the scenes, and yet his power has been felt, changing the entire course of the One Punch Man world and changing its power scaling scene forever. Even still, no one seems to be doing much in terms of trying to scale this God character. I don't blame them since we don't have too much to pull from, but after some research, theorizing, and help from my Discord server, I want to do an attempt at scaling God from One Punch Man. If you like this kind of content, make sure you leave a comment, like the video, and subscribe. If you want to request your own video or have any questions and stuff like that, feel free to donate with the links down below and I'll make sure to get back to you. Let's get right into the video. The easiest way to scale God is to simply put him above Cosmic Fear Garou, a character everyone and their dog has scaled at this point. Cosmic Fear Garou is a transformation given to Garou after barely touching God's hands, transferring what we can only assume as a small percent of his powers over to Garou. With his small percent of power, Garou stated multiple times to have mastery and control over all energy in the universe and the ability to manipulate the reality of the cosmos. He can perform literal gamma ray bursts and produce nuclear fission and gamma radiation. What's more, similar to Saikoroshi and Homeless Emperor, this energy is seemingly limitless, being pulled from an unknown source to what's currently a balanced degree. So that's it, right? God simply scales to Garou, who is a multi-solar system to galaxy level threat at his peak. But I think there's a lot more information we can analyze, starting with the implications from Blast and his crew. Blast informs us via Stitch that God can manipulate space-time, and as such is likely in a dimension where he cannot be interacted with without his own permission. On top of this, under the implication that Blast's team, consisting of a Boros lookalike, hail from alternate dimensions or universes, this would mean that this singular God has reach across alternate universes. This can further be argued by Genos bringing up parallel dimensions and theories revolving around them. This will mean at a maximum, God is the being who can reality warp, manipulate time and space, replicate cosmic events and energy, and has influence over multiple universes, making him a multiversal reality warper. This is extremely impressive and of course is a bit of highball, as universal is probably easier to argue until we have the multiverse theory confirmed. However, there is one piece of supplementary material that may hold the key for future God scaling, and that is the fan comic. The Fight of the Gods is a One Punch Man fan comic by CMing Lab, and although it remains unfinished, it likely may predict some key future scaling for God. Now, I know you're thinking that fan material has nothing to do with the canon of One Punch Man, and is simply theorizing, but this comic is different. It was made with the assistance of one himself. This means that whatever occurs in the comic could inspire one's future plans for God. This, alongside Mirage's clear passion for implementing physics of all sorts, from astrophysics to metaphysics, into the series, could lead credence to what I'm about to discuss. In this fan comic, God comes from a race of beings that all transcend normal dimension scaling by up to 11 dimensions. He proclaims he has complete control over space-time and can even Thanos wipe away all 3D beings by reverting them into one-dimensional beings, thus turning them to dust. He is frequently referred to as a universal threat or disaster, putting him at universal at minimal. His powers may seem confusing at times, but in short, he can control space and time, reality warp, completely no-diff 3D beings regardless of their power, reverse time, view the entire solar system at once, dimension hop, and travel across the universe in a microsecond. He lays waste to Earth, traps Saitama in a 4th dimensional space, surviving multiple serious punches and being punched from one planet to another. If one decides to take inspiration from this God being, it's quite possible we can get an antagonist as strong as, if not stronger, than the current God scaling I gave. It's implied that this version of God was a weaker version of its kind, so the possibilities going forward are endless. If you want to go even further, just for the fun of it, we can look at another fan comic where we focus on a fraction of power Garou received, but to a much larger degree. We're shown that even the greatest calculations of the universe, size and energy do not hold a candle to what Garou now wields from God, and he proves that throughout his fight with Saitama. He can punch so hard, he launches he and Saitama out of the universe. When this doesn't work at, of course, defeating him, he creates and wields the structure of the multiverse and perfectly manipulates all things in it with simple thoughts that cannot be avoided. He can even compress beings into 0 dimensions, similar to the last God, thus erasing them and perfectly ignoring durability. Upon making contact with people, he can even change their fundamental settings, as he calls them. I like to consider them adjectives that describe people. For example, if this Garou was placed in Dragon Ball Super, he could simply remove the strength, powers, abilities, and transformations from a person's existence and add things like weak, slow, etc. This character is clearly a power scaler's wet dream, but I do find it interesting how much can be done with this concept Warner and Murata have established for God. How strong do you think we can expect God to be in his avatars in the future? If you like this video, like I said at the beginning, leave a comment, let me know what kind of other content you guys want me to cover. I'm really glad to be back doing One Punch Man stuff. Hopefully we get some more interesting stuff in the chapters for me to cover. Sorry, my phone went off. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.